Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, we were discussing about this mathematical analysis of non-recursive algorithms. So, finally, we were we discussed about matrix multiplication, how to calculate the complexity for few algorithms, and we were talking about this particular algorithm. So, yesterday, few people guessed this is a algorithm to find out number of bits in a given decimal number. So if input is 4 for this algorithm, what is the output you'll get? For this algorithm, if input is 4, what is the output you'll get? See, input for this algorithm is decimal number. Okay, input is decimal number. Output is when you represent the decimal in number in binary, okay, it will count how many digits are there. Okay, 4 is a decimal number. Its equivalent binary value is 100. Okay, 4's equivalent binary value is 100. So output is, it will give 3. Is it clear? So output is 3. If the input decimal number is 8, what is the output you will get? Okay, output will be 8. Output will be 4. 8 is represented using 1 followed by 3 zeros. 1 0 0 0. Is it clear? So this is the algorithm to find out number of binary digits in the given decimal number. Is it clear? See, algorithms, whatever we are discussing now in this syllabus, all these small algorithms will be asked as programs in all the languages. Okay, you study Java, Python. In exam also, till 7th semester, you will be getting these questions. Write a program in Python to find out primary number. Okay, in company placements also, they will ask these algorithms. These are very basic algorithms. That's why I'm discussing all these algorithms in detail. See, they will not ask you to calculate time complexity and all, but at least you should be able to write the algorithm. When they ask you to write the algorithm for GCD or program to find GCD, you should be in a position to write the programs. Okay, these are very simple programs, and in C only you would have learned all these things, but it's not enough that you learned and you forget it. You should remember these programs. Okay, very important programs. All these programs are very important in placement. Now in first round itself, in technical round, in aptitude itself, written round itself, they will ask technical questions also. Okay, one thing is, see, even you should be in a position to tell if they give you piece of code and if they ask you to give find out the output if certain input is given. Tracing is also very important. Okay, these algorithms, please try to remember the logic behind these algorithms. Okay, from career point, all these algorithms will come somewhere again in your career. Okay, you'll be seeing these algorithms again and again. It's not that only for it is limited for C programming or C++. When you start studying Python, there also people will discuss these programs. Okay, they may even ask you to write the program and in some other languages. So basic algorithm, if you remember, you can write the program for in any language. Now our task is to find out the complexity for this program. So in this program, what is the basic step, basic operation which we can consider for our counting? Okay, basic step in this algorithm, basic operation in this algorithm. Can we consider this count is equal to count plus 1 or n is equal to n divided by 2 as basic operation? Okay, basic operation in this program. Either it has to be, see, once you enter while loop, these two statements will be executed. Okay, once once this condition becomes true, n greater than 1, we are going to enter this while loop, and these two instructions will be executed. Okay, are these two things basic operation or n greater than 1? Can we consider this as basic operation? N greater than 1. See, in this case, we are going to consider n greater than 1 as basic operation. Why? Because this, whether that while condition becomes true or false, this statement will be executed. Okay, so this comparison will be made more number of times in this program rather than any other instruction. So here n greater than 1, we are going to make that as basic operation. See, once you decide what is basic operation, next task is to, you have to find out how many times that instruction will be executed in this program. When we were talking about for loop, that for statement will execute n times, or n minus 1 times, or n plus 1 times. Okay, wherever we have come across for loop was executing n times. But here, while loop, whether it will execute like if the n value is 8, while loop, whether it will execute n times. See, this will not execute n times. This while condition depends on this value, n is equal to n divided by 2. Okay, so it will not execute n times. While loop will not execute n times, because n value is divided inside the loop. N is equal to n divided by 2. So when this kind of situation is there, that is represented using log n base 2. Okay, while loop which will run while loop is there, and n condition depends, like n value is divided exactly half with each iteration. So in this kind of situation is represented using log n base 2. So this loop will run log n base 2 plus 1 time, because first comparison is made. Okay, first anyhow count we have taken, first n value is not changed, so first one comparison is already made. So this, while this instruction n greater than 1 will be executed log n base 2 plus 1 times. Is it clear? So this instruction is n value will change with each iteration, it will become half. So that is represented using log n base 2, and this n greater than 1 instruction is executed log n base 2 plus 1 times. So its complexity is represented. We will not consider this constant. We already know that we are not going to consider constants in the representation. So this is omega of log n base 2. Its complexity is omega of log n base 2. Okay, for with every problem, with each and every algorithm, see, the things will change. We are talking n value. Okay, all this analysis we are making because of the input size itself. As and when input increases or certain values, how algorithm will perform, that is what we are interested in. So when you are doing the analysis, you have to observe carefully how n value is impacting on the execution of the program. Okay, so if you if you keep watching the n value, then you can do the analysis of any algorithm. So here is one more algorithm. What is this algorithm? Yes, we are taking some n value as input, 4 or 5. Okay, then for I is equal to 1 to n, for loop will run n times, and then you are doing some operation. So what program it is? What program it is? like what algorithm it is. Okay, in this algorithm again, this is the basic step, basic operation, which will execute n number of times. See, so these are the questions you need to answer. What algorithm? What does this algorithm do? Its basic operation. How many times that basic operation executes? Efficiency of the algorithm. And then next question is, after seeing the efficiency, can you suggest any improvement for this algorithm? Okay. If you can improve it, okay, and again you need to calculate its efficiency and you have to prove it can be improved or it cannot be improved. So all of you take the screenshot of this page. It's an assignment, okay? You have to answer this question for this algorithm. Quickly, all of you take the screenshot. You have to answer these questions with respect to this algorithm. Okay. And one more algorithm. For this algorithm also, you have to answer these questions. Assignment, it is assignment. Okay. You have to solve these things. As previous examples, you have to answer these questions for this algorithm. That mystery algorithm and this secret algorithm. See, these are very basic algorithms. Okay. If you just observe the algorithms, again here array is an input and we are trying to see return s comma r. Okay. Here two values you are returning. Return s comma r. So what it is returning and what is this algorithm about? You have to answer these questions with respect to this algorithm and this algorithm. Okay, here two for loops are there and if condition is there. In all the three algorithms, you have to identify the basic operation, efficiency, any improvement possible for this algorithm. Okay, it's an assignment. You have to submit it by today night. Okay. In 10-15 minutes, you can solve these things. Is it clear? Okay. All of you take the screenshot of this one and this one. So three algorithms, you have to find out, you have to answer these questions with respect to these three algorithms. Is it clear? See, and one more thing is, don't try to copy. Okay, I know 4 or 5 of you will solve it and you will give it to others and they will copy and they will paste it as it is. Don't do that. I will create a assignment in classroom. You do the assignment. See, however, you know whether it is correct or not, it doesn't matter. Okay, sincerely you make an attempt, solve these things. See, it's not that you have to submit the correct answer itself. I will appreciate the attempt, okay, not the right answer or wrong answer. So sincerely, everyone sit and try to solve this thing and submit the assignment. Don't copy. See, it will not help you in any ways, so don't copy. It's my sincere suggestion because in exam, in every paper, they have asked these things for 8 marks. See, anyhow, if they ask from the given example itself, it's fine. Otherwise, if someone give you new algorithm and ask this question, you should be in a position to solve it. Okay, there will be a fixed question on this one algorithm they will give and they will ask these questions and they will ask you to find out the basic operation, efficiency, everything. So like now itself, if you practice and if you learn it, see 8 marks is almost yours. You need not have to prepare again for the exam. Okay, here itself your task is done. So let's come to mathematical analysis of recursive algorithm. So far we were talking about non-recursive algorithm. Now we shall see recursive algorithm. So here is an example for recursive algorithm, that is factorial. This is an example for non-recursive and this is example for recursive. Okay, factorial. You can solve the factorial task using iterative method or recursive method. Anyhow, if n value, I want to find out factorial of 5. If n is 0, factorial of 0 is 1, so it will return 1. Else it will try to find out n into factorial of fact of n minus 1. Okay, fact underscore b of n minus 1. So that is, anyhow, you already know this algorithm. Okay, if n value is 0, it will return 1, else it will return n into fact of n minus 1. Here also you need to identify the basic operation. So here, like what is executed again and again? Easily we can observe that this statement will be executed again and again. Okay, so that here in this case we are going to represent it in a new format. So this is our factorial algorithm. F of n, I will be calling this function inside the function itself. So we call it as recursive algorithm. Okay, f of n minus 1 into 1. The basic operation, you can see here, this is the basic operation of this algorithm. The basic operation of this algorithm is multiplication, and its number of execution, how many number of times it will be executed, is represented by m of n. Okay, number of times this entire operation is executed is represented by m of n. Now we need to find out the we have to compute what is m of n. Okay, m of n, you can observe here, this is our factorial function f of n. It will be called once by passing the value of n, and then it will be called again by passing the value of n minus 1. Okay, so this f of n minus 1, again it will call one more function n minus 2. It will continue like that. So this is the representation, multiplication function. This is the representation of this entire operation m of n, which we can write it as m of n, and it will have one more sub operation. Okay, this multiplication operation, when I execute this operation, it will perform m of n minus 1. Again, recursive, that multiplication will happen recursively. Okay, so that is m of n minus 1. This m of n is a multiplication operation. This entire operation, it will happen again and again. Okay, plus you are going to multiply n to this in the end. Okay, when you come to the end of the program, you are going to multiply it with a n. So plus 1 times. This m of n will be executed m of n minus 1 plus 1 times for all the values for all n greater than 0. So this entire operation will be executed m of n minus 1 plus 1 times. Okay, so here, like for this algorithm, our basic operation is multiplication, which is represented by m of n, and we need to do the computation for m of n. That is, we have to find out how many times it will be executed. So this m of n will be executed m of n minus 1 times, plus final one multiplication will occur, so plus 1. Okay, m of n minus 1 plus 1. Then see, again, when you see, remember that this multiplication function is also recursive. When you execute this, it will perform m of n minus 2 plus 1, m of n minus 3 plus 1. It will go on like that. That is the recurrence. We call see, that is a recurrence relation. To solve the recurrence relation, we use one method called as backward substitution method. Okay, to solve this recurrence relation, we are going to use one method called as backward substitution method, wherein m of n is equal to, we know that m of n minus 1 plus 1. So this m of n minus 1 is nothing but what? M of n minus 2 plus 1. So substitute this m of n minus 2 plus 1 here. Okay, you just substitute it here. You'll get m of n minus 2 plus 1, which will become m of n minus 2 plus 2. Again, for m of n minus 2, what you can substitute? You can substitute it with m of n minus 3 plus 1. So if you substitute here, you'll get m of n minus 3 plus 1 plus 2, which will become m of n minus 3 plus 3. Is it clear? So we can observe here, it will happen in this pattern, m of n minus 1 plus 1, m of n minus 2 plus 2, m of n minus 3 plus 3, which we can write it as m of n minus I plus I. Okay, it is going on in that order itself. See, how many times it will happen? It will happen n number of times. This I is nothing but the n. See, ultimately it will repeat n number of times. So we can replace this I with n, m of n minus n plus n, which is equal to m of 0 plus n. What is m of 0? M of 0, here we have written it as 0. What is that condition, m of 0? In algorithm, what is m of 0? M of 0 is factorial of 0. See, when you come to factorial of 0, that is n is equal to 0, return 1. That is, there is no multiplicative function itself here. Okay, so multiplication will not occur. So m of 0 is nothing but 0. So n will remain. Finally, m of n is equal to total number of times this multiplication occurs in this function is n. Is it clear? See, m of 0 is the initial operation. That is, multiplication will not occur when n value is 0. So this m of 0, we'll write it as 0. Finally, what will be remaining? N. So m of n is equal to n number of times this multiplicative operation happens in factorial function is n times. So complexity is nothing but pico or theta of n. Is it clear? In recursive function, okay, you have to identify that recursive operation which occurs again and again, and then denote it with some value, and you have to find out how many times that operation is performed. Okay, so that we are going to do it, solve it with the help of backward substitution method. So you substitute it and you'll get this answer. Okay, simple maths, induction method also, if you use, you'll get you can solve it in the same fashion. So this is for factorial function. Okay, next, one of the most famous problem, everyone, you might have heard of this Tower of Hanoi problem. That is, 3 poles are there, or 3 towers will be there, and we have 3 disks here, 1, 2, 3, and I want to transfer, if this is my source and if this is the destination. Okay, I have to transfer all these disks in the same order to the destination, that is larger disk, less smaller disk, and smaller disk. Okay, that is our task. That is Tower of Hanoi problem. See, again, this is one of the very famous algorithm, and if you have heard of product-based companies, any product-based companies, or in some advanced interviews, people will ask you to write this algorithm and write the program to solve this algorithm. Okay, it's very interesting thing. So, if I ask you to solve it manually, easily you will solve. First, I will put the small disk into the last pole and the second disk to the third pole, and then the small disk back to this pole. Okay, in the next step, large disk, we can put it to the last tower. Next, what? In the next step, this small disk to the first tower, and then in the next step, you can put this in the into this last tower, and final step is this small disk again back to the last tower. Is it clear? See, again, it need not have to be in the same order. It can be in some other order also, but this is how this problem is solved. Tower of Hanoi problem. So if we look at the algorithm for this, the algorithm is like this. See, all of you once mark your attendance. Yesterday, most of you missed it because of time, lack of time. All of you mark your attendance first. Okay, so this is the algorithm for Tower of Hanoi. Observe the algorithm. Say I'm going to call the function Tower of Hanoi, and I will pass these three values. That is number of disk, n value, source, and auxiliary, that is the middle tower, source tower, middle tower, and destination tower. Okay. If n is equal to 1, if n is equal to 1 means there is only one disk in the tower, in the source tower. So immediate print means it's not print, just move operation. Move from source to destination. If there is only one disk, immediately move that from source to destination. Okay, that's a simple thing. Else, okay, if that is not the case, I'm going to call this Tower of Hanoi function again. But now while I'm calling it, you might observe here. So I will call it n minus 1 times. Okay, now I will call it n minus 1 times. And source, this middle tower, I will make it as destination. And last one, I will keep it as auxiliary. That is n minus 1 disk. If 3 disks are there, 2 disks I will put it to the middle tower. Okay. And then next, again, not print statement, move statement. The large disk that is present in the first tower will be moved to the last tower. And then again, we are going to call this Tower of Hanoi function. It will repeat. Okay. See, tracing this algorithm is a very lengthy task. But you should have to see, observe here, this middle tower, source tower, destination tower, it keeps changing. Here, it was different when I called it initially. Now it is different. And third case also, it is different. Okay. So this is, anyhow, tracing, if you want, like some other time we shall do this entire detailed tracing of this algorithm. So this is the algorithm. For this algorithm, we need to find out efficiency. Okay. So basic operations, if we identify the basic operation, these are the basic operations. If n value is 1, okay, so m of n will be 1. We will come to this condition in the end. Okay, in the end, we will come to this condition. And one more time, we are calling here, this is one of the basic operation, m of n minus 1. Okay, this is also an operation, m of 1. And this is also one more basic operation, m of n minus 1. So together we can write it as m of n minus 1 plus m of n minus 1 plus m of 1. Okay. So which is nothing but 2m of n minus 1 plus 1. Okay, our total m of n is equal to these two basic operations, m of n minus 1 plus m of n minus 1, 2m of n minus 1 plus m of 1. Okay, this is also one operation. It's not write message. It's also one of the operation. So we cannot, all these are basic operation itself. 2m of n minus 1 plus m of 1. Where m of 1 is, if n value is 1, again, it will be 1 only. Here it is not 0. it will execute one operation, one move operation. Here movement is one operation. So how many times it is moved? Total number of moves that will happen in this algorithm is 2m into n minus 1 plus 1. So those many total number of moves will occur in this algorithm. Again, we have to apply backward substitution method here. So wherever 2m n minus 1 plus 1 is there, you have to substitute 2m n minus 2 plus 1. Okay, it will be solved to 2 square m n minus 2 plus 2 plus, so which is nothing but 2 square m n minus 2 plus 3. Again substitute here, you'll get 2 square m n minus 3 plus 2 square plus 2 plus 2. Okay, it will continue like this. Finally, see, in between steps I have not written here. Okay, mathematical steps. Go on, if you go on substituting, finally we will arrive at 2 to the power of n minus 1 number of times this m of n will be executed. Okay, final value is 2 to the power of n minus 1. So we will omit this constant. So m of n will be equal to theta or omega of 2 to the power of n. Okay, this is a very like 2 to the power of n means it consumes lot of time. Okay, that doesn't mean that this algorithm is inefficient. See, 2 to the power of n, it's an exponential value. Okay, so if n number is 10, it will execute so many, it will take so many number of steps. 2 to the power of n, m of n is that doesn't mean that this algorithm is inefficient or anything, because there is no other solution to solve this Tower of Hanoi problem. Okay, this is a very tricky task. So it will take this many number of times itself. It is 2 to the power of n times. Okay, that is for Tower of Hanoi problem. See this computation, if you want, like I will explain again. Okay, now we are running out of time. Okay, this particular computation I will explain in next class again. Okay, that entire mathematically how we can solve this thing, I will explain it again. See, these two are examples for recursive algorithms, and this is also one more assignment. For factorial, for recursive factorial, we have calculated efficiency. For non-recursive factorial, you have to do it. Okay, so again, this is also an assignment. Those three, this is the fourth assignment, factorial. Okay, for this non-recursive algorithm, you have to compute the efficiency, and for this number of binary digits in the given decimal number, for this we have done, and this is the assignment number 5, that counting binary digits can be done recursively. Okay, so this is the recursive algorithm. For recursive also, you have to do it. Okay, I guess this is there in the textbook itself. You try to solve it and understand, try to understand that procedure. Okay, so this is assignment 5, problem 5. And Fibonacci number, again, it's a recursive method to find out the Fibonacci of a Fibonacci series. For this also, you try to find out the efficiency. Is it clear? These 6 assignments, you have to submit it before 10 o'clock. Okay, I will create the classwork in Google Classroom. Do it and submit it. All of you solve it. See, when you are writing the answers, you write your USN and name on the answer sheet when you are submitting it. Is it clear? Have you understood? Okay. Yeah. Then we shall see in the next class. Thank you.